Armchair critic. Armchair critic. It is an idiom. It means someone who has become knowledgeable by reading, sitting in his or her favorite armchair. That is a person with little or no practical knowledge. In other words, someone who criticizes other people but does not have any proper experience of the activity, what exactly the other people are doing. For such people, we call an armchair critic. For example, the first one, if you want words of wisdom from an armchair critic, you can go to Rani. So Rani has a lot of knowledge because she read a lot of books, but no practical knowledge. She talks very knowledgeably, and if you want wisdom, you go to Rani. Without practical knowledge, she criticizes. That's the reason she is an armchair critic. The second one, I want someone who has dealt with this problem, not some armchair critic. So right now I am in the problem and I want somebody who has already dealt this problem, not someone who never had any experience. So I don't want any armchair critic right now because I have to get out of this problem. The third one, stop being an armchair critic and let me fix my car since I actually know what I am doing here. Your car is under repair and you are doing it. Somebody came and they are advising so many things without any knowledge, but you know it. Then you warn him, stop being an armchair critic. Don't tell me because I know it. The fourth one, that guy is such an armchair critic, no experience but plenty of advice. It's quite natural most of the time in our life. Many people without having any practical experience try to advise us. That's the reason we call them that guys as an armchair critic. The fifth one, everybody is an armchair critic, said Commander Surya, the senior police officer. So maybe press, they're asking so many questions or they're criticizing so many things about some incident. That's the reason the Commander Surya, police officer, made this statement. Everybody is an armchair critic. They never had any practical experience, but we have the experience. That's the reason we never criticize. So the origin of this idiom is fairly obvious and very clearly understood, and it came into existence in the late 19th century, and this expression began to mean criticism of matters in which a critic means a critic who makes criticism does not take any active part. He was not involved in the activity. He simply sits and criticizes. So, an armchair critic is a person who had no practical knowledge, but he gives advices and criticizes most of the time. And that person is called an armchair critic.